Now it's time to put together the button press assembly, and this uses a lot of the sub-assemblies that other people in your group have made. It's important that if you get these on a flash drive, you don't just get their assembly file, but all the different parts that go into that assembly file as well, because your assemblies are referencing other parts that you've created, and if those part files are not in the same location, it's going to give you errors and mess up, and it will be a headache for your group. So make sure that all of the pieces for the assembly are transferred with the assembly. Some of the other pieces, like the handle pivot pin, you made, someone in some group made. Small snap ring, quarter 20 cap nut, and the base bearing, I made all three of these pieces for you. You can find them in your stock button maker parts folder. So without too much more, let's go ahead and get started. New, assembly, place, and I'll get the number 1 quantities first. So I have a base bearing ring, then a handle pivot pin. That is something that I made. So hold down Control and click handle pivot pin. The base subassembly, handle subassembly, lower die subassembly, upper die subassembly, and are there any other subassemblies that we missed? Nope, should be all of them. Click open. Right click, select OK. We can drag these out, and now even though these are multiple pieces, they're being treated as one part file. Okay, for our 2s, we have a quarter 20 cap nut and a small snap ring. So go back up to place. Quarter 20 cap nut is here, and then your small snap ring is here. Again, hold down Control so you can select both of them at the same time. Open, click twice, right click, say OK. I want this to be oriented upward, so I'm going to click on front view, flip it up once, right click and say this is my new front view. Click on this top corner here, right click and say this is my new home view, fit to view. And now that we have that in place, we can start to put on other things. Just like before, we have the insert constraint is our favorite one to go with here. So we have the insert, click on an edge, click where it should be going, make sure it doesn't go through the material, flip the alignment if you need to, select apply. This is going to sit on top of this washer. Apply. We have, where'd it go? This is upside down just a little bit. This is going to sit on top of here. Unless it's not. Well, no, I do need to flip that. Quick thing to note is that the little antennae on this need to be straddling the other bar. So I'm going to hit cancel, constrain, insert, make sure I click on this one, and then click on the side that has the antennae on it. Let's go back to a home view. And I thought I grounded that. Apparently not. let me go back a couple steps. So I went through, made sure this is oriented correctly. I forgot to right click and say grounded. So let's try one more time. Look at it from this side, constrain, insert, outside of that, top of that, apply, and the same thing with the underside here. Okay. This handle is going to be pushing down on this, and I do believe that this axis here is going to be lined up with this hole. Although if we look straight down at it, well, no, it looks pretty right on. Let's hit apply and then exit out for just 1 second. We should be able to drag that up. We'll see the main function of that little black piece is not to pivot, but to stop this from going back too far. And that just leaves this little pin here and the snap rings that go on it. So the pin is here. We are going to be using a mate constraint to mate it into that. Apply, and then a flush constraint with the top of this. And let's see what it looks like with the side. Looks okay, I guess. Might offset it just a little bit. 0.01 doesn't look like enough. 0.02 looks a little better. Let's hit OK there. We can put the snap rings on. This is an insert constraint, so switch to insert. Click on one of the faces of that. Matter of fact, to make it easier, click on the outside face. Apply. Snap ring number 2. Underside of that. Apply. We have the bottom of this cap nut. It's going to be covering this. And the same thing for the other one. There you go. And if we had these parts adaptive, this would come into contact with this and force it down. The spring would provide tension and push it back up. Let's save what we got. We'll call this button press assembly. Yes to all. Click OK and OK.